Hi everyone, and welcome back to the A10-CII Quick Start series, where today we're going to be looking at how to talk to JTAC. So this is the shooting gallery mission. It's an inbuilt mission for the A10C. It just lets you practice liaising with JTAC. First thing we need to do is make sure we're on the correct frequency. So if we go to the briefing, by default that's left alt and B. On all the missions I've come across, all the frequencies will be listed in the briefing menu. So here we can see JTAC, codename Death Star 1, is on 30.00 VHF. So we can just check that down here. My VHF radio is set to 30.00. It's in the transmit receive position. And just as we saw in the startup guide, we can just change these by clicking on these knobs. So set that to 30.0. Sometimes JTAC will be using the UHF radio instead, but just check your individual mission. You also want to make sure that you are ready for combat before contacting JTAC. So master arm on, gun arm on, laser on, and TGP on. And just as we saw before, the TGP takes a while to warm up, so you want to do all that before you enter the combat zone. Now I am doing this mission in the A10C, not the A10C2, so I don't have the helmet mounted sight, but otherwise interacting with JTAC is exactly the same in both versions of the module. So we're on our way to the ingress point, so let's make contact with JTAC. So again, this time we're using our VHF radio, VHF FM radio. Want to make contact with JTAC, so go F4. Death Star is the one we're tuned into. And then we can pick how long we're checking in for. This is just your rough amount of time that you are going to be in the area. Don't worry about putting in a thing for too long. You can check out at any point. This will just be when JTAC will automatically tell you to head home. So let's say that we want to check in for 30 minutes. So you can see here that we're giving our details, including what we're armed with, where we currently are, and how many ships are in our flight.
Time on station is 0 plus 30. Available for tasking. What do you have for us? Log 1-1. This is Death Star 1-1. Type 3 in effect. Contact target 2 o'clock. 9.
Then we get the confirmation that he is ready and asks when we're ready for our 9 line. What I like to do is make sure we've got a waypoint ready. So in order to do that, we go over to the waypoint screen, select waypoint, open the new waypoint by pushing the question mark, just as we saw in the last tutorial. And then I give it a quick designation, normally just TGT at this point, and put that into its name. I'm also just going to start circling my current position while we're waiting, so I'm just going to put this in altitude hold mode and enter a blank. Now JTAC will give you coordinates in the UTM mode, so we can change over there to UTM, and just double check that we are entering in the right vague coordinates. So if we go over to the right hand side, we can go into NGRS mode. You can see that we're in 370. This was set to 380 by default, so we can just correct that. So 37T. Again, I've got all of these controls bound to my keyboard, so it makes typing easy. Then push this USB. So now we've got the correct general area. JTAC won't give us this general area. We can now just enter the coordinates as he's saying them. So we say ready to copy.
Ready to copy. Line is as follows. Banks, passing waypoint 1,009 critical. 16 feet MSL. Tanks. Golf 3, 2, 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 5. No mark. 0. Northeast 23,000. Egress east to Banks. Advise when ready for remarks and further talk on.
So he gave us information about what the target is, its elevation and so on. The key part for us there is the coordinates. which you can either handwrite out as you're going, or you can type out as he's giving it. If you've missed it at all, just press escape, go to message history, and you can see it there. So there we go. Our coordinates were GG, so Golf Golf 32756 It's exactly what we've got entered there. The other information here, ingress point is what waypoint we should be heading in from. The heading from that ingress point, the distance from that ingress point. Very often these will simply be skipped and he will let the ingress point be up to us. Elevation here, we generally don't need to worry about this because the computer will take the elevation from the map coordinates. It tells us what our targets are so we know what we're looking for. Mark is whether or not he's able to throw a smoke marker on the target. In this case, no. If he is able to do so, he will tell you the color of smoke he is using and request that when you see it, you contact him and confirm that you've seen the mark. The last two lines then are if there's any friendlies. So here we've got friendlies to the northeast. And which direction he thinks we should egress to. So in this case, he suggests we egress to the east. By the way, to enter this, we just push the OSB next to the coordinate line. Again, if you need a reminder of how to use the waypoints, just look at my previous tutorial. Now we've got our target point there. We can just check whether it's vaguely sensible, set the HUD to soy, and go up through our list until we reach this new one, 11 TGT. That is the waypoint that we've just added. You can see there that it's just south of the lake, or just east of the lake even. And so we've got that all set up. So now we can just copy remarks, it's just reading back.
Request CBU 97. Wind 001 at 3 meters per second.
Okay, in this case he's asking us to do CBU 97, so we can make the HUD as soy. Select CBU 97. Or in fact, I'm going to change that to CCRP mode since we've got the coordinates. Now I can read back the 9 line just to confirm.
Golf 3275675. Read back correct. Hog 1-1. Standby data. Hog
So here he's sending me data. I can confirm that with acknowledge. And he's told me that I'm free to engage, so let's go to our targeting pod. Set it to air to ground mode. And I press and hold the China Hat aft long command to slew to the target.
Autopilot.
Gonna make the TGP as soy, just go I can have a look. And then it's just weapon employment as normal. Now, depending on some factors, he may give you a rough coordinate. This time he's given us very detailed coordinates, but it's always a good idea just to double check with the TGP to make sure you can see what you're shooting at.
Contact target 11 o'clock. 49.
And here we can see there is indeed a large group of tanks. Now, if there's any mark, we may need to ask him at this point. If he needs to laze coordinates, we can ask him to start lasing. In this case, we're just using CBU 97, so the information he's given us is all that we need to. Alright, then normal, press and hold weapon release. Got one out, and we are told to egress to the east, so I'm turning east now. Done my job, and I can get out of here. And there we go, we've got multiple hits there on targets. And so I can just tell him my attack was complete.
Hog 1-1. Attack completed time. Hog 1-1. 2
So there we go. In this case, because there are multiple targets in the area, he's authorized me to go back in again, and we can just keep repeating that over and over. Otherwise, that is all there is to talking to JTAC. If you have any questions, please do leave them down below, and otherwise, I hope to catch you in the next video. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and everyone else. Cheers!